This episode of $1 Million Worth of Game is brought to you by Game Time. The NFL is back. Tailgates, pack stands, that buzz before kickoff. But getting in, a nightmare. Queues, prices jump, getting logged out mid-click. All you want is to be there. Beer in hand, losing your voice with the crowd. The Game Time app gives the advantage back to fans. It's the hack for unlocking amazing tickets and experiences in a few taps. It's incredibly easy to use, and Game Time guarantees means you can trust you'll get 100% authentic tickets on time at the best price. Plus, fees are always included, so what you see is what you pay. I was looking to add some tickets for the Eagles-Broncos on Game Time. $225 was the cheapest. You can go in there for under $500 and you and your wife could have a great time watching the Eagles beat up on those Broncos. So, and whenever you need tickets, the best deals, the best prices, Game Time app. Take the guesswork out of buying NFL tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code Dollaz, D-O-L-L-A-Z, for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code Dollaz for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go download Game Time app today, right? This episode of $1 Million Worth of Game is brought to you by New Amsterdam Vodka. Now, life ain't going your way. Shout out to New Amsterdam Vodka. You caught your woman cheating today? Shout out to New Amsterdam Vodka. You thought that check was coming, but it didn't come your way. Shout out to New Amsterdam Vodka. It's distilled 5 times. It's filtered 3 times for that clean, crisp finish. Now you can drink it straight up, on the rocks, juice, soda, or you can make a classic New Amsterdam Mule, but that's up to you. When you're out and about at your local liquor store, don't run past this New Amsterdam Vodka. Don't you do that. You get it to the counter, boop. Get it home, put it on whatever, drink it however way you like it, and you will be feeling great. And it's good for pregame as well. So make sure you get you some New Amsterdam Vodka, the official vodka of Barstool Sports. Right.
You're now tuned into $1 million worth of game.
Yes.
With the one, the only.
Yes.
Listen, man. DJ, I call him DJ. See, me and him go way back. Yeah. Y'all understand that? We go way back. We was in the U together. I was the kicker at that time. We was doing our thing, but now we here. We got a great movie coming out tomorrow. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You got to make sure you go see that.
Well, who we got here?
We got DJ.
Oh, DJ?
Yeah, I call him DJ.
I call him The Rock.
Come on. I call him DJ, though. You know what I mean? We do our thing. How was it? When you think of Mark, right? What's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Vulnerable. Mark Kerr is the first thing I think about. The word I think about for Mark is vulnerability. Because when you talk to Mark these days, that dude was the baddest dude on the planet. Mm-hmm. And never lost. And would truck dudes multiple times in one night. Back then, that was tournament style. So if you won, you kept going. No gloves, no mouth guard, no rules, especially in those early days for him. So this idea of vulnerability, it was not part of his DNA. But as he lived his life, and between eventually he caught a loss, it really fucked him up. Mm-hmm. He OD'd twice, lucky to be alive. Mm. So these days for Mark is all about, I shed that, I open up, and vulnerability is the thing that leads him today. So that's what I think about getting to know, because I've gotten to know him really well. Me and Mark aren't as close as me and you.
Yeah, I know. So that's all that matters.
But we're still close. Yeah. But I would say vulnerability.
I want to say this. The title, the most important part to the title of me from watching the movie, this is my interpretation, was machine. And I'm going to tell you why. Mm-hmm. Mark and you. People see you as a machine, whereas though they dehumanize you, and they don't know that you hurt, you cry, you feel. They just need you to show up for them, to entertain them every day. And what is your take on that, becoming Mark and also being The Rock for so many different people, whereas though they don't think that life is connected to you, because machine. You become a machine. You become an entertainment machine to where as though they don't know the pain. They don't know the hurt. They don't know that you could get your heart, no matter how huge you are, your heart could get broke. You feel, or you could get angry, and you're allowed to because you're human, but the machine said part say you can't. So how did in becoming Mark, you connected with that? And also, how did you deal with that being a rock?
That's a good question, man. That's a really good question. It's hard to live up to an image, but you don't complain. Because what are you going to complain about? Because I got nothing to complain about.
Right.
Because I think, those times where I think, man, I can't go out, I can't go to a mall, I can't do this. The alternative to that is that we go back to nobody caring who I am,
right.
Or go back to having paycheck to paycheck, living those days. I don't want to do that. So I learned to keep my mouth shut a long time ago. And also I would weigh it out and think, well, but I dreamed for this. I wanted this.
Right.
I worked hard, right? So, but to get to know Mark in that way, it's such a smart question because there's a term that Benny Safdie, who wrote and directed the movie, he came up with in the beginning of it, which is radical empathy. So you can empathize with somebody, but if it's radical empathy, you go deep. Right? And so becoming Mark Kerr just gave me this whole other level of radical empathy because I realized that you guys love the Eagles. I like the Eagles. Right? I fuck with Kevin all the time.
Yes.
And the Eagles are winners. And with Mark Kerr, what I realized the radical empathy part is it's not the winning, it's the pressure to win. And how we deal with that pressure determines, I think, what real greatness is. And in Mark's case, that's that radical empathy part where I became so radically, I could empathize with Mark and understand that, oh man, this brother, as you said, he was the biggest dude on the planet. He was a beast, capable. Everyone expects him to deliver and expects him to entertain and expect you show up for me how I need you to. But no one sees his pain. No one saw his addictions. No one saw his heart being broke. No one saw the crazy relationship that he was in that was so codependent with, at that time, the love of his life. No one saw that. They just saw the machine. And so I give him a lot of credit because if you think about it, this movie was based off a documentary back in early 2000s. And at the end of that documentary, he loses everything. Lost it all. But then that's it. That's how the documentary ends. And it's not like us, if we had a chance, not like he had a podcast where he can show who he is today and how he's grown. Like that's been that dude's legacy for 20 years, which was, oh yeah, that guy was amazing. He was the best on the planet and then lost everything. So I give him a lot of credit because he cleaned himself up. He got clean, got sober. They had a beautiful son. His name is Bryce. And that dude finally, after all these years, is at peace. And that's the thing we search for, right? Is
absolutely
peace.
When you got the role, the script came through, when you're reading the script, and you're trying to figure out if this is something I want to do or not. Or when you're reading the script, what resemblance did you say? Oh, damn! Like me and him both had this together, like the same similarities. What was those things?
The pressure.
The pressure
to deliver, because at that time Mark Kerr started coming up in the late 90s. I started coming up in wrestling in the late 90s. And at that time wrestling was going through a boom at that time.
Yes.
Right, and so was MMA in Pride in Japan, and it was the pressure to deliver. And also it was this high that's intoxicating when you're performing in front of people. And it's live, because there's nothing like it, right? And especially if you're in a ring and if you're doing MMA, which I didn't do. I did pro wrestling, which is still combat, but it's performative, obviously. We know what we're gonna do and we know what the outcome is. We just don't wanna get hurt. Let's go on to the next town tomorrow night. But still, it's just the banging on the body every single night.
Right.
And no seasons, just every single night. I would wrestle 270 days out of the year. And it was just wild. So there was a lot of connective tissue with me and Mark. And ultimately, when I read that script from Benny Safdie, what it also represented for me was just an opportunity to push myself and do something that I had not done before.
More serious role, right?
Yeah, a more serious role where I can sink my teeth into something and just fucking rip it open. Because I've been in a position where I make the bigger 4-quadrant movies, right, that play to a lot of people, which I love. Right. Jumanjis, Moanas, things like that. But in a way, what I've said is I got backed up into a corner and I got pigeonholed, but I did it to myself. And that was the thing I had to realize, because at first I think it's a little easier to say, like, well, they see me like this and they want me to do it like that, when you realize, oh no, I've been putting myself in this position. So when I first read that script, I thought, this is my shot at just ripping it open. And then once I know I'm gonna make the film, then I started thinking, that's when you start to have doubts. Like, shit, can I do this?
So you still have doubts?
Oh, I had never been scared before making a movie. All the other fear, of course, we had just as men, we were vulnerable, in all these other areas. But not making a movie. I always came to set like, all right, let's go.
I'm ready.
Yeah, we're ready. I was fucking terrified doing this because of the places I knew I had to go. The raw places, the intense places that I knew I had to go. And luckily I had a director who says, yeah, you can do it. I believe in you and I got you. Then I had a co-star, of course, and Emily Blunt, who says, I got you. Let's do this together.
Now, it was moments in the film where I felt as though you wasn't acting, you was reconnecting with your past. It was too real, and it was like, he ain't acting right there. He's connecting with his journey too, of being Mark Kerr in a different world. Is it truth to that?
Yes. And what helped that was the transformation, the 13, 14 prosthetics. I had a physical transformation. I had to gain over 30 pounds. And what was crazy is I didn't think about this until I just started to put on the weight. I went, oh shit. I just can't put on 30 pounds of just muscle. It has to be a certain quality of muscle, that fast twitch, because he's a wrestler. So it's not like I could just jack weight around and just be bulky, because I had to move. And so that kind of understanding, that kind of quality, that added another layer of oh shit, okay, now I understand what has to happen. So physical transformation, vocal transformation too as well. So when you guys, when you see Mark in the movie, he is as advertised. And one day you guys are gonna meet him. Remember, it's like with Tyson, where he was just the baddest dude on the planet, but yet vocally it didn't match sometimes. You were like, oh, why he's got such a soft voice. Same thing with
whip your ass, you better stop playing with me.
Yes.
Can't believe it.
That Mike's my guy.
Yes. Man, so when you have a guy like Mike Tyson or a guy like Mark Kerr, who these guys are walking contradictions, right? Because they are animals, lethal, but yet at the same time they have a softer speak to them. Same thing with Mark. And to your point, there were times in this movie, man, where you just go elsewhere. And especially in the fights, not only the fights in the ring, but also the fights at home. With the life fights. With the woman you love. And as you guys know, in real life, what we didn't want to do in our movie was, what's the movie version of a married couple fighting? This is Benny, the house we were in, he built that from scratch on a soundstage, but he built it from scratch, running water, and he built it from scratch so he could hide the cameras. So by the time we walked in there, me and Emily, and it's gonna kick off, and we're gonna go at it, there's no cameras. So, and you don't see lighting set up or anything like that. So you can imagine how real it was the moment we walked in there. So man, those fights that we had, it reminded me of, like the stuff that I heard as a kid.
Right.
You know, with my own parents.
This episode of $1 Million Worth of Game is brought to you by DraftKings. NFL fans, what's your favorite touchdown? There's over 100 years of TDs to pick from. For me, it's the next one. Because with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting part of the NFL, every touchdown could bring you closer to cashing in. DraftKings Sportsbook delivers the unmatched intensity of the NFL right to your fingertips. From first touchdown scores to anytime touchdown props, or the thrill of live in-game betting, every snap is loaded with opportunity. Here's the best part. Bet $5, just $5, and you get 200 of bonus bets instantly. You hear that? Whip your phone out. Hurry up. Forget all them other, DraftKings. Come on, download it. Your team hitting pay dirt? Pays out to you. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code Gillie right now. That's code Gillie to turn $5 into $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours. Put it on and wear it right. This episode of $1 Million Worth of Game is brought to you by Jackpocket. Mega Millions is hot in them streets. And all the buzz right now, our partners at Jackpocket, America's #1 lottery app, has got you covered. With Jackpocket, you can order official lottery and scratch off tickets in minutes right from your phone. Over $1 billion in lottery prizes have been won using Jackpocket. Don't miss your shot at millions. New Jackpocket customers get $5 in lottery credits when you opt in and use code Gillie2. Come on, whip your phone out. What you got to lose? This might be the lottery ticket that you hit for something, and you didn't even pay for it. All you did was whip your phone out, Jackpocket app, punching Gillie2, Gillie, the number 2. That's it. If you hit the Mega Millions or the Powerball, or just thank me later. Jackpocket, America's #1 lottery app. Right. When you first saw the movie Done Finished for the first time, was it like one of your proudest moments? Like, oh shit, I really knocked this one out.
Brother, I was speechless. I was bawling. I couldn't speak.
Yeah.
And it was just myself and Benny and Emily, just the three of us. Credits are rolling. I could not speak, man, because it's like you want something so badly, and you don't know if you're ever going to get that chance. Because also, I was a trailer park kid. I know what it's like to struggle. And so when you begin to make these movies that come with a big price tag, you make money, a lot of people make money, hopefully they're good and a lot of people like them, that's comfort zone. So I don't want to leave that.
Right.
But yet I thought, well, but man, I want to challenge myself, and I don't know if I'm ever going to get that opportunity. And then also, if you're a studio investing a lot of money, doing a art house drama is not the studio's first. That's not where they want to lay their money down, right?
They want to do another Jumanji.
Exactly. They wanted 10 more. Yes, let's do that one. And we don't want to do that one. If I found a studio in A24 who said, no, we see you like this. So, man, when the credits were rolling, it was just like, if I never do anything else again, I did this. And you know what the biggest thing was? And I want to ask you guys about this, is for the first time, I feel like I did something for me. And it wasn't for this studio and this 4-quadrant, for the world. It's like, no, this was for me.
Right.
Did that ever happen to you guys where you feel like people want you, I need you, for example, your podcast, you're this, you're that, but you realize like, no, I need to do this for me.
Yeah, without a doubt. It come a point in time that I'm a firm believer of we're not going to be here forever. God give us time to be able to say, go ahead, I'm gonna come back, but we're gonna talk again. And when time for us to talk, it's gonna be a different place. So I look at it like, you gotta really have your effort, you gotta have your fuck it button. And you gotta pull back from everybody else, because people will convince you that you're not a good person when they can't take advantage of you a lot of times. And you will feel it in your chest, and you will start questioning yourself, like, and you'll find yourself going above and beyond the call of duty to deliver to everybody else that you forget yourself.
That's right.
And then when I start seeing myself, I'm like, and I ain't gonna be here forever. I better enjoy my life and do things that's gonna make me feel good and don't feel bad about it.
That's right.
So sometimes you go through a place where it get painful,
Yeah.
you know, but you'll figure it out. You be like, and when you do, your chest open up and you be relieved, like, I've been holding back from doing this all this time.
Yes. Yes.
You know, so
you did for you.
it get crazy, but like, you know, sitting here with you, there's so much going through my mind because I seen you at this height, but I'm saying to myself, when you stood on the ring, you know what I mean, Jabroni, when you did everything that you did, who was checking up on you? Who was checking up on Dwayne when you was the rock for everybody else? Who was checking up on you?
Yeah. No one. That's the thing. You know what I
Nobody?
mean? Huh?
Nobody?
I had a core group of people around me. Of course, my family, my wife at that time. But things went from no one knew who the fuck I was to within a year. And it was like this. So the thing that I didn't struggle with it, but it was a challenge, was pressure. And plus I grew up an only child. And I grew up tough love. My old man was, he raised me with just, we'll call it tough love. And, you know, this idea of pressure, delivering, that all came into play, man, back then, especially back then when I was the rock and it was all this pressure on me. And I realized back then the best thing that I could do is just keep my head down, try my best to keep my nose clean, and just move forward.
Now,
Let me say this. Now that you have been highly successful, you know, a successful wrestler, successful actor, successful businessman, do you love any of those three more than you love playing football?
Football will always be that thing for me because that kind of camaraderie and that kind of goal setting and that kind of we're going to outwork everybody. We had that down in Miami, right, with the Canes. Played with a lot of amazing players, Ray Lewis, Warren Sapp, Rohan Marley. But the reason why football will always be the thing for me because it's the thing that I actually failed at. And it's hard for me to reconcile that and let it go because I didn't. Now, things worked out and I'm grateful, of course, but in that moment, like that for me was very defining because as you guys know in football, especially if you're coming out of college, your senior year comes around and if you don't have a productive season, that's it. You ain't coming back.
Right.
And then, so then my career kind of just ended. And that's how it all, so for me, I'm always, in my head, I'm always like, shit, just failed football player.
So you would take the Super Bowl trophy over the Golden Globe and or the Oscar?
Oh, man.
That confetti falling high, we did it.
Oh, no. I will say this, every time I see Michael Strahan, I say, dude, that was my life. I always thought I was going to be a New York Giant.
Yeah.
Super Bowl team.
Wait, hold up. Wait, we started this interview.
I told you.
We started this interview off
Eagles.
right. He said, I like the Eagles. You know what? I always thought I was going to be a Giant. This just went left fast.
That was my goal. That was
So you thought you was going to be a Giant?
I did, because I love Lawrence Taylor.
Okay.
And then I read Mark Bavaro's book, and I thought about Bill Parcells. I mean, I just had this. And plus, in my mind, because in my mind, I always thought, the New York Giants are like the, you know.
Somewhere everybody wants to be, New York.
I feel like it, right? It's like working in Madison Square Garden.
Absolutely.
Right? It's like that.
Absolutely.
Now, what's up, everybody? I'm Wallo, $267 million worth of game, and I am a Roe partner. One thing about Roe is a life changer. So if you're going through something right now with ED, don't even worry about it. Roe is going to take care of all that. Roe Sparks is a 2-in-1 prescription treatment for stronger, harder erections. I'm talking about you're going to be You're going to be standing like a statue. I'm telling you, life is going to change. They hit the bloodstream like this. They work in 15 minutes on average. And guess what? That means more sex, more it's a game changer. You want a thicker, a longer erection? Rose Sparks is here for you. Rose Sparks is active in your system for 36 hours, so you go back to back, round after round, and be ready in the morning. Be ready for play with Rose Sparks. Rose connect guys with a medical provider, 100% online, so there's no awkward conversations with in-person providers. You don't have to worry about none of that. If approved, treatment shipped directly to your door. I'm talking about you ain't got to go nowhere. It go right to your door if you get approved. If prescribed, new sexual health partners get $15 off Sparks on recurring plans. Connect with a provider at ro.co/MDWOG to find out if prescription Rose Sparks is right for you. That's ro.co/MDWOG for $15 off your first order. What are you waiting for? A24 do a good job. They got real thought-provoking projects to me. I can't speak for it. Every time I see the logo pop up, it's something thought-provoking. It's something that's engaging. It's not just about entertainment.
That's right.
When I looked at this movie, me personally, I'm taking my personal take, was like, this movie is mental health awareness. That's what I took from it. How do you feel about mental health connecting with, just that physical sport? Like, is it important? Like, is it to talk to a therapist? Like, where's the therapy? Where's the outlet? So do you think it's important for athletes to really tap in because they ain't got nowhere else to go?
Dude, it's so important. It's the most important thing. Not only as athletes to tap into who their boys are, or a therapist, or a coach, but just dudes in general, men, because we have a tendency to keep this stuff inside. I'm guilty of that. And I work on it, and I'm still guilty of it. Like there's a term, like I go horns down, and I try and pull myself up out of that. I'm glad you brought that up about the Smashing Machine, because if you think about it, back in the early 2000s and the 90s, there was no mental health conversation.
Nobody was talking about it.
Nobody was talking about it at all, not, and especially back then. But these days, today, I'm a big advocate for it. We got a great text chain. It's myself and Jay Glazer, Mark Kerr is on there, Michael Phelps, a couple of NFL coaches too as well. And always checking up on each other.
A brotherhood.
A brotherhood, yes.
Absolutely.
It's like with me and Kevin. He just sent me a video. I want to send him a video too. I want to fuck with him a little bit. But we're always checking up on each other.
Right.
And I grew up an only child, so I never had that, and it feels good. And I realize that there's such power and importance in if you feel gray or if you feel like things are sideways. And you can't explain it either. And if you haven't gone through it, it's hard for people to understand that.
Absolutely.
They'll look at you guys like, I know you guys are a successful podcast, everybody knows you guys, but you can have days where you're depressed. Like, what are you depressed about? But you just don't know. If you've never experienced it.
But people tend to think just because somebody's successful, they got money, that their life is just, it's just peaches and cream, and I go through it all the time. I lost a son, I had 5 kids, I lost a son. So
I'm sorry, man.
So I go through it all the time. But I also got a motto that, I might be in the airport and a guy could walk past with his son, and I just break down right there. But he'll tell you, but one thing about me, I just let it out. I don't care where I'm at. I don't care what's going on. I could be at a restaurant. I could be at a hotel lobby. I could be in the airport. I just let it out. And then when I'm done letting it out, my motto is chin up and chest out. You know what I mean? It's back to chin up and chest out. I had my little moment that I had to get over, and it's chin up and chest out. And anytime I have that little moment, I go through it, and then it's right back to chin up and chest out. Because
where did you learn that at?
I mean, we grew up in the ghettos of America where, I seen my first person shot and laying on the ground in front of me at 10 years old in the ghetto, where he's just laid out there, just shot, just for everybody in the ghetto to see, in the hood to see. And so by the time you become 17, 18, you like desensitized to that shit. It's like you like numb to it. You know what I mean? Until it really like hits you. And when it hits you, and then you go through that process, and then I got kids that, they lost their brother. I got a wife. She lost a son. You know what I mean? So, as the backbone of the family, it has to be chin up and chest out. You know, I didn't have any other options. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you're placed in those predicaments where you don't really got no other option. It's either it's gonna be chin up or chest out, or it's gonna be I'm folding.
Yeah.
And I can't fold.
That's not an option.
You know what I mean? You gotta look at out of the history of our family, we're the first two individuals that when we actually pass, we're gonna leave some money to some individuals that we may never, ever even meet. You know what I'm saying? So folding is not an option. It's always gotta be chin up and chest out, and whatever we gotta get through, we're gonna get through it, and we're gonna get through it together.
That's right.
Now,
I'm sorry, really quickly, do you guys feel that maybe you broke a cycle?
yes.
Absolutely. You gotta understand, he did 20 years in prison. So he went to jail at 17 and came home at 37.
Okay.
He's the culture advisor at YouTube.
Yes.
He's a New York Times bestseller.
Yes.
You know what I mean? We own Pure Fuel, the official hydration drink for the Philadelphia 76ers, the Chicago Sky.
Beautiful.
We own Noggin Ball. So we understand that it's never too late.
That's right.
It's never over, and you just got to put that work in. Head down and put that work in.
That's right.
Now, when was the first time you cried as Rock, and when was the last time you cried recently? I'm talking about, when I say cried, I'm talking about something. We fortify ourselves sometimes as men, and we taught that men don't cry. And, you know, once you became Rock, what was a painful time that you cried? The first time that you got introduced to crying after becoming the machine. And what was the last time recently that you cried, and what was it for?
The first time I cried, once I became The Rock, I would say when my first daughter, Simone, was born.
Okay.
Yeah, and I remember flying in, I think coming from Chicago, we had a show, I flew in, and my wife at that time had a C-section, Danny, and then the baby comes out, and you know, the moment you hold, and as an only child, you know, you selfish.
Yes.
Right? You just think me first. The moment I held her, I knew, like, oh, now, for the first time in my life, I felt like, oh, now everything is about someone else.
Yeah.
And it's this, and it's my baby. And so that was the first time I cried like that. And then the last time I cried, man, there's a scene in the movie, and it's not because we're trying to sell the Smash Machine, but this is the truth. But there's a scene in the film where we fight as a couple, and it's a big fucking fight, and it's ugly. And when things kick off like that with couples who maybe have gotten physical in the past, there's a moment in the movie where I'm fighting with Emily, and I just reached this place, and my finger goes in her face, and really gets in her face, and you feel all this energy.
Yeah.
And you know, we know this is that when this happens, and a man starts doing this, and it gets really close, we know where that could go, and it's ugly. And she steps up in the moment, totally ad-libbed, and she comes up on me, fearless, and basically says, you wanna go? You wanna hit me? Let's fucking go. You know when you are so heated and you love somebody so much?
Everybody go through things, brother.
Yes.
Yeah, you hear me?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
The Smashing Machine is out tomorrow.
And I'm ready to smash him because I've been dying to do this. I've been dying to wrestle with him, man. Like, I'm just. Okay. You see how you said, shit, hold on. That wasn't it. I had to do this, man. I had to wrestle with it.
This is
He
$1
gonna love me
million
for
worth of game. It's Dwayne Johnson, the
Dwayne
legend,
Johnson.
a.k.a.
Real pleasure, man.
Yes.
coming
The
on
Rock.
this show.
The Rock, man. We
And it's
appreciate you.
just
Proud of you, brother.
Thank you, man.
Yes.
Thank you, man. We appreciate you.
Yes.